Welcome back, Salty Gamers, to week 47 on the main account. Let's get into it. So, day 24 on September calendar. The event for Leia. Oh, connection reload, because I just logged into the web store. So I just logged into the web store to get the box, so it's just reloading. So claim rewards. So the Leia event is now finished, so we're not getting any bonus shards. Pick up the mail, so we won the last GAC round, and we got 5 shards of Fifth Brother, 20 mats, and 100k plus canteen energy. It also counts for us picking up the store pack. So we'll just get our dailies done and then we'll go over the roster. So I'm changing my modding farm, my mod farming, and what I'm going to do is probably the start of next week, start of October, I'll do a week of farming the usual routine Monday through Friday, and then the other 2 types of mods on Saturday, Sunday, and then the following week I'll do all training slicing materials, and then back into mod farming and back into slicing materials, so it's 2 weeks of each, so I can start slicing the mods up. Right, so we're farming out our Ewoks now. So nice, almost got a 5-star chirper. Get Pow. Complimentary 6 shipments. Not much going on in guild activity here. Running low on everything. But we're due a raid payout and a territory battle payout today. Same here, we're just picking up credits once we get 2,000, and we've just recently done it, so nothing else to pick up here. Fleet store, picking up executive requirements as a primary, and then Rebel Fleet as a secondary. So we've finally got Slave 1 to 6 stars. I'm working on his 7th star. See what we could pick up here. So what I look for here is ships that we're currently using, and none are coming up. So then I look for materials that we need, like these. So that gives us a full piece of that. Grand Arena, Chirotex, and Shard Shot, anything that goes towards relicking out the characters we need relicked. So we need these, lots of them. So Poe needs them because he's now 7 stars. So we don't need to pick up our shipment or our bronzium pack because we got the web store stuff. Again, in here we're just farming out that shard shop currency with the ships, unless there's something we need. Ships in, again, fleet challenges, we get the Zeta challenge. I'm not fully done it yet, and we're on 6 Zetas. Fleet battles, we're still farming out Slave 1. We're on 14 out of 100. Nice 3 pull. That gives us a grand total of 7 for today. And what I tend to do is either pick up some shipments or pick up Merrin, just to get a small amount of shards coming in for her, because we will need her for the assault battle team at some point. Into the roster then. So our normal farm is still going with Lee's favourites. We're on, Pia is on his 6th star. Poe, if we go into the Raid Journey teams currently, so where's Zori? GAC ready, that's where she is. So the Zori team, Poe's finished, he's at 7 stars now, so that's a big tick off the box. In the box for that. Finn can go to, unfortunately Finn can go to gear 12, but he's not got the stars, whereas Poe is at the stars but can't go to gear 12. And then Rose should hit 7 stars today. So let's farm Rose first, just to get them done. And 2 shards. And of course we get the 6 shards after we spend the 25 crystals. But that takes her up to 7 stars. And now need to just gear 12 and then relic her. So let's just see if there's anything that we could currently get. That should take us into the right amount for that. And this needs 40 of them. And we don't really have it. So we'll just wait for the raid currency coming in, and we should be able to put the final piece on Rose to get her to gear 12. And Miss Finn and Jolie, and we'll go straight for Pia. Nice, just Pia shards. And then we'll go to Jolie, just because then it's just for keeping a good count on our normal energy. So we're not replacing any hard mode farms right now. We're finishing, once we finish them off, that's them finished. Because we've got big things like this one to do for IG 2000. The only one that we would really replace would be getting Queel for the Imperial TIE Bomber, and that's just what I'm going to do just now. Go to squads and then farming gear. We fire Queel and we start farming his node, because we've got Imperial TIE Bomber to get to 7 stars and we've got, it's not even unlocked yet. So we'll add that on as we've taken Rose off, but apart from that we're not adding any more on to the farms. So we'll take Rose off the farming list because she's done. And once we get the gear for her, we'll gear 12 her. So like when Amelin, Holdo and Pia are finished, they come off the list, no more gets added, and likewise for the rest. And then what I'll do is I'll focus on gear, mainly Kairos, to get that gear level, gear stuff built up. So we've got 74 shards left, energy left. And we've not done Johanny. Yeah, we have done Johanny, but we've not done Finn yet. So that's it for the farming of the shards and the ships. So let's have a look at the overall roster. So our Ewoks are getting there, slowly buying them out the shop and farming Chirpa out the cantina, farming him out the cantina. So I'm just going to do an extra farm over at his node, just because we've got a wee bit more crystals. Because we're not guaranteed 50 crystals in fleet every day, because sometimes we don't hit the top 50. I don't want to overspend too much on crystals, just so in case anything we do need to come up. Hopefully once we get Executor, we'll hit the top 20 in fleet, and then we'll just start really ramping up all the farms. So our Ewoks are getting there, we'll start leveling them up shortly. I've started leveling up the Imperial Troopers. I've taken Veers up to gear 10, just some gear missing. Same with Piet, she's at gear 8 but needs some stun cuffs. Gideon can go up in level, but I'm watching the credits. And same with Dark Trooper. Again, they require all the same gear. So what I will do is take them up in gear ability maps, upgrade their skills to 6. Just in preparation. So these are Omega abilities I don't really need, but his main one is his leadership, and then eventually his Zeta, and then Piet, his Zeta. His leadership one's not really needed till we go for Executor, but the this Zeta will get done the next Zeta, so that's the plan for the next Zeta. Gideon, if we end up getting a lot of shards for Imperial Remnant, he could be utilising that team. But until then, we'll leave his leadership to level 1. So that's the idea there. With that team, we'll start building up the Ewoks once we get them to 7 stars. But at that time, these guys should be almost all level 85, ready to go, because if I was to take Gideon up to 85, it's 5 million credits, and we've only got 15 million, 16 million. So I know 16 million may seem a lot, but one full team and it's gone. So I've also cleared up the shards for these guys, so we know how many stars they actually have. And we done a bit of mod shifting about with the bounty hunters, put the Zeta on Bosk, and with this setup with a few mod adjustments, we managed to 7-star the Chewie event. Now I done it off camera just because I really wanted to get it done, so there he is there. Chewie, 7 stars. It was a bit of a nightmare, it was a long time, I took about a good couple hours tweaking mods to get it right till we got a good RNG and got the event cleared, but that's Chewie done. So we will add Chupio into the farming plan once we've geared up some of our resistance, because that's our key. We want to get as many to gear 12 and relics as possible. Onto our GAC. We've still got Mara Jade sitting at level 5. The Empire team's not really changed, but we do need to get this 8th brother up and running at some point in the near future, just so that it's he's utilised in the meantime, because I think he'll do a lot better than Tarkin, just with his anti-Jedi, inflicts blind and burning, any force stacks consumes inflict. So this works on everybody, and so long as they've got purge, he inflicts armor shred. He's got a bit of recovery in his kit. And he sort of keeps, this only works if all allies minimum of 3 are Inquisitors, so that only works with Inquisitors, but he's a good filler. He should be a good filler for this team, just keeping that sort of Inquisitorious synergy with the Sith. We change, maybe break up the norm. The 2 Rays are still same relic level, and we're trying to build out BB-8's final relic piece, but that being said, it's the same relic piece as Revan, and we want that Revan, Jedi Knight Revan, for that team to be relic first, just so that we could get that team a wee bit more bulky for GAC. So we're sitting slightly short of these handles, and then we've got enough of them, and we need 100 of them. So really I would double up on this, so we could do both at the same time or thereabouts. And then we need this team, so this team has actually got to come up a bit because in priority. So this is sort of top 3, and then into the places of power, secrets, shadows, etc. Starkiller's teams are still the same. As you can see, we could fire in at least 1 Chirotech, but we're not wasting the Chirotechs at this stage on Dash because we're not going straight for the Starkiller. More Mothma fighters aren't done, but we are building out Pow and Hoth Rebel Scout from the Cantina, and then we'll do Cara Dune whilst we're farming for Beskar Mando requirements. Darth Vader's now at should be at 34 shards after the raid rewards come in. So that will get there eventually as well. That's a Omicron heavy team. Looking at the journey guide requirements, we're on the 3PO event, so that's what we're working on currently. Where are we? So Rose needs to go to gear 12, Poe needs to go to gear 12, Resistance Trooper needs more left hand side stuff, so we're going to start building out these requirements with the Mark II currency and the territory battle currency. Same with the med packs. You can buy 10 packs for 50,000. They're needed all the time, so I'll get them. That's like half a med pack that we need. And we need 30 more just to sort that. So we need 24 of these to fill this, but the problem being it's the same as many others like Jolie and Basila, but we don't need to relic them, so he can get priority over that gear, which is good for our Chirotechs. Looking at the Chirotechs that we need, almost got enough, but Bosk uses these ones as well. When we look at Bosk, he uses different pieces. We're nowhere near using Bosk. We're getting this piece for Bosk, but we'll probably get that before we'll finish off Trooper, so I would then prioritise Bosk's relic rather than Trooper at this stage, because Bosk is also a journey guide requirement for Executor. it works out good, and he's our tank for our ship, so relicking him off will be good. We've got more of these to buy out, so we'll just buy some of them, trying to finish off as many pieces as we can without having to farm gear. And that's the way to do it. Just pick off, you know what you're working on, some projects, and see where they farm the gear. Just put them on, and then that's them locked in, ready to go. So we know we've got more of these to get, but we can't get them. But we could maybe find them in here from time to time. Not enough currency, so sometimes if you don't have enough currency, come into here if you've got more fleet arenas tokens, and just buy some maxed out ships. And if we go, that's because I'm in the journey guide. If we go to shard shop now, I've got 600 more currency, and I could buy. So you click on there and then look through just to see who's needing, what's the priority. So we know resistance trooper needs it, but we're not relicking them right now. But we do need these because we're relicking Bosk. So fire that one. Look in here, we need to relic Vader. So we can go into Vader, see what he needs. Lots of them. And as you can see, it's the same stuff as Jedi Knight Revan. So we wouldn't necessarily prioritise this. Really, you could look at it two ways. You could do Vader first, but if you're close to Executor, because he does need to go to R7, or because we're trying to utilise this Jedi Knight Revan team, we prioritise Jedi Knight Revan over that. Or again, double up on all the requirements. So unfortunately we picked the Hoth territory battle by default. I couldn't get it changed in time because I missed it. Otherwise we'd be spending our get 2 currency on Chirotex, which we get about 4,000 get 2 currency, and that would buy us enough Chirotex to relic out with a couple of purchases, which is fantastic. But you forgo the Negotiator and the Malevolence, but we're not currently using the fleets, so it doesn't really matter. And they sort of lost their priority, in my opinion, because the other ships are just so easy to get in comparison. I'm just going to buy out Hoth Rebel Scout, and that's for the Mon Mothma Rebels. Yeah, so they're low priority due to the other fleets being so easy to get, and then you go for Executor and Profundity, and then they're totally obsolete. So we maxed out the guild raid, and then if we go into territory battle, we are currently sitting at 25 stars. With the rewards looking at roughly 28 stars we should get, give or take, which gives us a nice 150 crystals and some good gear. Hopefully we get good full pieces to save on the farms, especially the big farms like 50 piece parts. So just have a wee look to see what we need to do in it. So the goal is 1 star in each of these territories and 2 stars in the bottom one. If we can achieve that, that's an extra 4 stars, so we get 29. I've already done the deployment on this account, so nothing to do there. So 29 stars, there's only 100 difference, so it doesn't really matter if we drop a star. if we could get that 28. It matters a wee bit more if we only get 27 because we drop 200 currency but 50 crystals. If you think of the crystals for every 50, that's a refresh of energy, normal energy or fleet or mod, and for every 100 it's cantina energy. So that's what we'd be missing out if we drop a star. GAC, we've got the squad arena and the fleet arena to do. We're still sitting in the top 50. We'll focus that more at payout time, and squad arena doesn't matter here nor there. We are sitting low enough that we think we get 500. And not that one. And that's the top guy on my shard that got an R8 Jabba. So yeah, 500, so it's 700 per day, which means every 3 days we get 1,000,000 credits from just doing our one battle. So passively get that. So yeah, this is the ranks on the sort of top 5. It's all Galactic Legends with ultimates. So it is what it is. So once you get the, just for information for any new players watching this, if you end up low on fleet, low in squad arena, as in good low, closer to the under the 1,000 mark, or even better in the top 100s, getting 500-600 currency, then buy out all the characters. Even if you don't intend to use them, buy them out. Once you buy them out, focus on getting some prestige, keep a bank of a couple of hundred, and then credits. You won't go far wrong with credits, and that gives you more money to spend upgrading your characters. Now just looking at it, it's 1.2 for 2,400 currency. That would work out, possibly be worthwhile getting the 600 every 2 days. That would be $1.4 million every 4 days, as opposed to, I'll try and do the maths for that at a later stage. It might be more worthwhile getting the 600k every 2 days, that, and then rather than waiting the 4 days for the 1 mil, and then you top it up with your credits in here. You're getting the 625 for 1 mil. Sometimes you get both. Just going to buy out stuff like that. See, if we noticed that, I could have used the 880 for that and got that. Not to worry, we can pick it up later. With the 200 currency, we will spend it on where is he? Logri, because he's at 5 stars. Then we'll bring him up to 6 stars, then we'll worry about getting the other Paplo. Right, on to GAC. Slight detour. Actually, just a quick one before we go into our GAC. I want to see the likelihood of getting first. I think we've already got executors in. Yeah, so we're talking, should hopefully get If we get Executor anytime soon, we should get in the top, well into the top 50, possibly in the top 20, which, if you look at the prizes in Fleet, this is why Fleet's so big right now. So long as the crystals stay, we get in the top 20, it's 100, top 10 to, and then top 5 it's 300 up to 400, so good payout. If you could hit the top position, first place every time, that's a ridiculous amount of refreshes every day. So good round so far, won both our rounds. So if we look at the leaderboard, we're in prime position to take first place, just depending on if we beat our next opponent, which is Dionys. So we'll go back to our first round and just have a quick review. So it's Victorious Combatant, nice Relict Padme team, and we have 1.8 million GP with Relict Geos and sort of a Galactic Republic focus with some Revan and Darth Revan, Savage Omicron focus there. So his ships, he sits at 197 in Fleet with a focus on Geos. If he got his Houndstooth up, it'll be a lot better. Looking at the board then, he done not too bad against me. It was just efficiency. It all came down to efficiency. So it was 10 points in it. His North Wall had his Geos. Thankfully our Palpatine team managed to beat that. Hard counter for the Geos. And then our South Wall, he had his Jedi Knight Revan. Something that would have made it slightly more difficult was the Zetas on Revan and Jolie, as well as putting Revan on leadership. It would have been a harder battle, but thankfully he had it jumbled about and we managed to clear it. And then he had his CLS, but it was a CLS light team with Princess Leia, Stormtrooper Hanan and Luke, as well as R2. So not the strongest, so we managed to one battle each time, and then we cleared his fleet as well with one battle. Where he dropped his banners then, if we go across to the defence, on the north wall we have Revan with the leadership, but we also have lower characters in amongst it. But on our south wall with our Qui-Gon Omicron, you got through one battle, but you must have lost health and protection whilst doing so. On the back wall we easily cleared our Phoenix, which is just a filler, so we have more on offense. So probably a few banners dropped on health and protection, and that's all that stopped them from winning. So very close first round. Second round was General Grievous. So by the name you should tell who his favourite character's been on his roster, and that's General Grievous himself. So he's got an R8 General Grievous with his droids, a heavy separatist sort of focused roster with not very much, and so he would be what you call a tall player, where he's put a lot of investment in 2 or 3 characters and not a lot of investment elsewhere, rather than rounding it out, which this ended up being to his detriment, because if we go into the round, he never managed to clear anything. He got one battle but couldn't get through. So we look at Qui-Gon Omicron. It got the hold. Absolutely nothing lost on them, still standing strong. And then Revan had one battle, and Yoda and Jolie lost a wee bit of protection, but stayed standing. And that was only because he went tall. Now, if he put Grievous on offense, that would have been totally different. He would have cleared through and probably got through 2 walls. But then again, I might not have been able to. I might have been able to full clear him. Instead, I got held up on 2 battles with General Grievous. Thought I would try a few things. It didn't work out. But I one-shot everything else. So one-shot his fleet. And then he had Padme team at the front. And then he had a sort of makeshift. That would have been better on the back wall if it was myself. Just put trash in the back, put your strong guy in the front, and then you're not giving away banners. If he put Grievous in any of these front walls and then managed to clear 2 of my walls, he would have probably won that. So wee bit error in defence, and that's where sort of strategy comes to it. So efficiency and strategy is the key to winning. Now Dionys has Beskar Mando by the portrait, so we'll have a wee look. So he's in Noon Republic, 377 in fleet. We'll have a look at these ships first, what we're looking at. So we've got a Relict Vader, a Relict Bosk, but not a 7-star Houndstooth. We've got a 7-star Anakin's Fighter with Ghost, Phantom, Ebon Hawk, and the Geos, capital ships. He's got 3 7-star ships, he's 3 million GP, and he's almost got a 7-star Thrawn. So this will be the tougher opponent because he's the higher GP than myself. So he's got both Revans, he's got a Relict Brood Alpha, he's got a Bosk, and he's got a Jedi team. So, quick look on svigo.gg. And then I think I could do this. Let me just have a quick look. Go to GAC and then should be able to do a scout. Scan player, and then ally code. So if you're getting really competitive, what you could do is scan your opponent on svigo.gg. Doesn't matter if they sign up, you can still check it. And you can go into their GAC history and see what they place. So they usually put First Order, Phoenix, Vader with Darth Revan, and on defense. So we know we need to beat Phoenix, First Order, and a Sith team. If they go with the norm. If they don't go with the norm, they might change it totally. But this was on his very last GAC. And each round he's kept the same defense. So highly likely that he's going to have a Sith, a Rebel, and a first order defence, and he keeps his duos for offence. So we'll see what he does this time around, but that's where we're looking today. So thanks for watching, and remember, stay salty.